Hello, everybody. Today is Thursday, March 27th, 2025, and we are back for another episode of Bricks and Beyond, a creator showcase series. For those of you that may be joining for the very first time, Bricks and Beyond is a showcase series that highlights members of the LEGO community. Each episode provides a personalized look into the person behind the account. Tonight's guest is joining me from the Windy City, otherwise known as Chicago. He is a LEGO collector, a social media sensation. Yes, he even has his own merchandise. He is a member of LAN, but most importantly, he is an amazing person in the community. On Instagram, you may know him as Stud City, but I am here to introduce you to him as Cristo. There he is.
Hey,
I get nervous no matter how many times I do these. I always get nervous that, whoa, sorry about that. I always get nervous that something's going to happen where you just don't pop up. So here you are, though, in the flesh. How are you?
all smooth. It was a smooth transaction. I haven't done a lot of these, and it looks like you're an expert, so I'm happy to be joined here by the expert.
Geez, man, you're going to give me a big ego to tell me that kind of stuff. I don't know. I love talking to people, so it's I just like I love the interaction and meeting the different personalities of people. It's just it's always enjoyable. So I've been waiting to chat with you because, like I mentioned to you the other day, I've been following you since before I had this Lego page, and I got the guts to reach out to you, and you responded pretty quickly. So
Yeah,
much appreciated.
I'm glad you reached out, and like for anyone that is watching, I think it goes to myself and many other creators. Like we're just normal people, like every other day, right?
Yep.
Like that's it. So
Yep. That's
yeah,
that's the word I'm trying to spread. Doesn't matter how many followers you have, from one to a million. We're all people,
yeah.
and we're no different than than anybody else. So, however, you do have a lot going on. So in that aspect, you are a little different than everybody else because you're bringing a lot to the table, and it seems like you keep yourself pretty busy on a regular basis. So.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, busy's like I think somewhere in the middle name kind of thing, right? Like
Yeah, yeah. Well, they say it keeps us out of trouble when we're busy, right?
that's kind of what I go for. My wife sure loves it, so that's most important.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the only thing I would say to that though is the bank account and the wallet probably doesn't appreciate what we do here. So,
Absolutely, we all know how to swipe the card on those Legos.
well, hey, I mentioned that because I mentioned you do have your own merchandise, and that is one of your famous ones is swipe the card. So check out if you go through Linktree on Christo's page, you will find his shop. And he's not pushing me to say this, by the way. This is my own free will. Check out the merchandise. It's some good stuff. I'm actually going to get something from you here in the next coming days. So,
Hey, I appreciate
um,
that, Keith. Thank you
yeah,
for that
yeah,
for
yeah,
shouting
for
that
sure,
out.
for sure. Yeah, because I'm looking forward to. I don't know which one I'm going to pick. You have a couple different options that hit home on the apparel side, so
Well,
might have
I'll do
to.
you once. I'll let me send you a swipe the card one on the Stud City show. I'll have Georgiana whip it
That
up.
is that's more than kind. Then I will. I'll. That makes it a little bit easier on me now. I can go buy another one, so I can have two. So,
I
so
appreciate it.
how's your day? How's your week going?
It's good. It's always Lego filled, so I can't complain too
Yeah,
much, right? I think
yeah,
each and
no,
every day is some way or form Legos involved.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's a blessing. It is the opportunity to work around Lego, with other people that love Lego, and with people that also love Lego, and
sure.
just like to hang out. It's awesome. So
Um,
there's challenges like anything else, right? There's always
well,
challenges.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing. When you're doing something with Lego, it's supposed to be fun all the time. It's not always fun, I'm sure. There's pluses and minuses to things, but I'm sure more on the plus side. A minus, I would say, I watched the Bricks and Minifigs opening you guys went to, and I saw the hassle you had to go through to try to get one of the minifigs, the special minifigs.
Let me ask you a question, Keith. I've never been to a Bricks and Minifigs. Have you?
Yes.
Okay,
Two. Yeah.
two. Did you go to a grand opening?
No.
No. If you were gonna go to a grand opening, say in your area, right?
Yeah.
What like? Let me just like you saw my take on it, but
Yeah.
what would your expectations be? Would it be anything that was like presented?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I was shocked. See, so I don't know. Have you ever been to Myrtle Beach, South
I
Carolina?
have.
Okay, so they just opened one, and I actually did a Bricks and Beyond a couple months ago with Jonathan, the owner down there, and he posts stuff on his Instagram. He was kind of telling me like how things went on the opening. Um, I guess I just wasn't expecting the crowds
Mhm.
to be the way they were. Like for a common person, I didn't think they would know what a Bricks and Minifigs was. Um, and when you really put in the perspective, like you don't really realize, I guess, how many people actually enjoy Lego.
Yeah.
It's just something that's I feel like I call them closeted Lego fans. Like the adults seem to be more like I don't really like to talk about it. But no, I was not expecting the people to be so protective over a minifig torso.
It was very interesting. I mean, there was a very nice young girl. If she's ever watches that video, I'm sure she'll get a
Yeah,
kick out of it. That
yeah,
gave
yeah,
one to
yep,
Life Breaks,
yep,
and I mean that was really kind of her. She didn't need to
sure,
do that,
yeah,
but
yeah,
she was put on the spot. None of that was scripted. Everyone we talked to was just like out of the whim.
okay,
So I thought that's important to say. But like, yeah, I don't know if I think I stood in line because she had to stay in line for at least an hour, hour and a
yeah,
half,
sure.
like at the very least. And to just cough that up, I mean, maybe they truly were just trying to get their day one, but
Yeah,
it's
I mean, well, that's what I was curious about. So, first of all, kudos to you because I feel like somebody that has like the following that you have, like, might try to weasel their way into something like that and be like, you know who I am. I'm going to go to the front of the line here. But you did your thing. You're just like you said, a normal person. You got there when you did. You went to the back of the line, and that was that.
absolutely no, and yeah, like all said and publicly knowledge is like I wasn't invited to this Bricks and Minifigs, and actually was a last minute decision.
Okay.
CPA AFOL.
Yeah.
He was kind of inviting Tyler from Life Bricks, and he's like, "Hey, Cristo, do you want to like he knows we're all kind of within the same area, like you
Sure.
guys want to take a trip and go out?" And I was like, I don't know if I could swing it, but I was heading to Toledo
Oh, okay.
that day.
Okay.
So I was like, well,
Yeah.
I'll just make a stop, right? And on top of my father-in-law was flying back home from Greece.
Oh, nice.
So
Okay.
his flight got delayed, so he wouldn't
Okay.
even have been there until later that evening. So
Sure.
we're like, well, I guess we don't really, not that we'd have nothing to do.
It
There's
worked
family there,
out.
but like, yeah, it just worked out kind of deal. So, yeah, it's just another person in the crowd kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. So were they limiting the number of people that could go in the store at one time?
Yeah, I guess I didn't find out the exact number like present in the store at one time. But
Okay.
I would imagine it had to be like 50,
Okay.
maybe 50 plus. I feel like
Yeah,
that sounds accurate.
I was curious because when you were like videotaping the sets on the wall, I felt like it was quiet in there. Like it didn't seem like it was like people knocking each other down, push each other out of the way and whatnot.
Like super
Um,
chaos. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean they wouldn't let new people in until someone left. So
Okay.
they definitely had a number. I just don't know what that number was. But
Okay.
in retrospect, we were number 175 to 179 getting
Oh,
in the
so you
door.
actually weren't too far back. I mean,
Yeah.
you missed the cutoff by what, 70? What they do, 100 got
Yeah,
torsos? First 100?
they did
Okay.
100. I think I saw a comment. Somebody said you can't just be the first 100 in the door. You have to be first 100 purchasers. Like you actually have to buy something.
Oh.
So
Oh, okay. Interesting.
so I don't know if that
Okay.
works. If like say you took your kid, right? Like you and
Yeah.
little Jimmy went,
Yeah.
would you be able to get two? Would you be able to get two torsos, right? Like I
Yeah.
don't
Okay.
know.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, so that lady that you guys ended up getting one from, because she was with what, two kids? Did they just have that one, or did they all have them?
I guess I didn't know. I thought they just had one, but there was like
Okay.
five of them in total over there, like
Okay.
a friend group or whatever, with maybe their one or two kids.
Yeah.
But it looked to only be one minifig that she
Okay.
customized.
Well, then maybe it was like one per person per purchase or per group,
Y-
maybe.
Yeah,
Um, that makes it tough too. I mean, like obviously, you want to keep people coming back. And I know it's a torso, but when you offer something like a promotion, you have to try to figure out a way and not just like, okay, first 100 people in. Like, I don't know. Again, that, and I know it's supposed to be an exclusive thing, but that's a low count
That is.
um, to give away. But regardless, you and the crew ended up with one, so
Yeah. Yeah. Well, just Tyler got one. That's it.
that's just
No one
why I
else
would say
got.
just one. Yeah, we don't
Yeah.
want anybody thinking you guys
Yeah.
ran.
I don't have a bricks and minifigs Mishawaka. Although it's really cool. I'm happy someone else out there got one.
Well, look at it this way, because I almost went down a rabbit hole. I got one from my Lego store in Pittsburgh when it opened. And for a second there, I was like, this would be kind of cool to try to collect the Lego store minifigs from all the openings.
Yeah.
Man, I tell you, the prices on some of those. You want
What
to do a
what's
series. You want to do a series? There you go. Do Lego opening minifigures or Lego store opening
what
minifigures.
what's some of the more
Ridiculous.
expensive ones? What's some of the more expensive
There's
ones?
been some over the thousands.
Oh my god! Like big cities or just like random cities?
I want to say. I mean, I think there was one like the New York one. I want to say
Okay.
it was an expensive one, but again, it just depends on the number they gave away.
Yeah.
And like the one where you were, um, they literally just gave like, did they give any bubble packaging or anything?
No, it was just you were able
Okay,
to like build your own minifig with
okay.
like all the bricks and minifigs like parts and stuff, and you just got the torso to like
See,
exclusive.
that's interesting because like our store in Pittsburgh, they gave out I can't remember how many there were, but they were supposedly replicas of Sidney Crosby
Uh,
from the Penguins,
yeah,
and then they numbered the bubble packs. So I don't know. It's just interesting how different stores do things. So
yeah. I wonder.
I don't know.
I truly wonder the quantity that an official Lego store would give. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, you would think they'd have deeper pockets than bricks and minifigs.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, so anyways, enough of bricks and minifigs. I don't want to bore you to death. Springtime. How's it in the Windy City? Is it here yet, or is it still cold?
We're on like that false spring,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
We saw a couple warm days turned into some like tropical rainstorms, got
That's
really
right.
cold,
Yeah. Yep.
and now we're opening back up.
Okay.
So
Well, good. I know. Let's the sun was out today. I'm hoping we're making that transition because I don't know. Every year I feel like it drags until you get to the the hot part of the year, and
that
then you're free.
drags.
And yeah, then it drags. Human nature. We're never happy,
We're
right?
never listen. We're never happy. I can't wait for fall time. Fall time comes. I'm like I'm
Yeah.
over it. And
Well, see, that's why most of us just sit in our Lego rooms and we don't have to worry about the elements. So
see, a lot of times I forget even what day it is, what time it is, what month it is,
yeah,
because I
yeah.
couldn't even see the light of day.
There's a new merch drop there. You got to think of something with. I don't even know what day it is.
I'm stuck in the Lego room building. Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
All right, so today's Thursday. So any big plans coming up this weekend?
This weekend, actually, I'm kind of preparation for the first of the month. So,
Okay,
a lot of preparation goes into the first of the month. I've kind of been expanding. So,
sure. Yep.
typically, what I've always done is like those big YouTube live streams for all the new Lego
Mhm.
releases. And I started a kind of like a partnership with Whatnot, and it's
Oh
kind
yeah.
of
Okay.
feeding over. I'm like, well, the midnight release on YouTube is awesome, and then maybe during the day I could do a Whatnot
Yeah.
stream, maybe buy some of the first of the month sets and auction them off. I think
Okay.
it'd be cool.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a lot of preparation, and I'm just me kind of by myself, so it's been pretty
I
hectic
get
getting ready for something
it.
like that.
Yeah, I get.
So
Well, that's. I was looking. I've been spending the past couple of days kind of like actually going through because yeah, that's the one bad thing about Instagram is like you'll catch a post every now and then, but like you won't actually see everything that somebody does. And so I was just looking back and like you got a lot going on. I mean, you do like the release day stuff. You're doing like the pricing stuff. I've been watching you do with some of like the minifig stuff.
yeah.
Um, what release days? I mean, sales, trying to find good deals on stuff. You're just like everywhere. So what's
I
what's your calendar look like? What's your schedule book look like?
it is. it's from top to bottom, just scribble scrabble. A lot of
Yeah.
slash marks through it,
Yep.
and it's like yeah, it's an artist at work for sure.
Well, as long as you know what you're doing, that's what matters.
Yeah,
So
I love that you bring that up, Keith, because a lot of times I get caught in this kind of like transition of like I want to do this, I want to do
well,
that, I want to do this, I want to do that, and you kind of get lost, right? Especially
yeah,
in your own kind of niche, right? Because I've said it before, and I'll say it, on this stream. My success, or what you want to call it, a framework of success, it always came down from niching down
sure.
in the Lego space. Lego's
Okay.
broad. Finding my niche is really where the growth of my channel came, and I feel
Okay.
like over the last month or two, I've kind of lost that a little bit, but it's
Well,
also trying new things.
yeah, it's not hard to kind of veer off the path. I mean,
Mm.
like you said, like Lego comes up with new stuff, or people are doing different things, and it's easy to find a different path and kind of wander. Um, I just went down the path of finally getting rid of FOMO, um,
I,
which
hey,
it feels good.
round of applause there because that is a tough one.
It is.
What was the biggest FOMO for you?
So it's really funny. Like it was the first of the month. Like the stuff would come out, and I'd be like, okay, gotta have it, gotta have it, gotta have it. Well, then the space, as you know, with space, it's just you can't have it all. And then my buddy Josh came over. We redid my basement. See, I got like new shelves put up here.
Yeah.
Now I have the space, but now I'm like, okay, I don't need everything anymore. So now my let me get your opinion on
Mhm.
this. So here's my new thing. If it's a day one release with an exclusive gift with purchase, it's a must have. Anything else, I can wait for double points.
I
That's my
think that is like the epiphany of like a great outlook. I feel like that
okay.
is
Good.
yeah. 'Cause you often think that like I always reflect to the price points a little bit because that's kind of my niche.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
those exclusive promos and GWPs always end up being a huge fraction of the set, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if you wanted that later on the road, it's like, well, that set will probably never go on sale that much
Yeah.
versus the discount of getting it with the
Yep.
promo. So
Yep.
I stand by that. I think that's a
That's
valid point.
I mean, like we couple of my friends, with the Fell Beast, like when people really put in perspective, like you can sell that Fell Beast. Well, at least when it was really in demand. I don't know what it still is going for now, but like you could sell that and you could probably make what a third of the set back by
Yeah,
selling that.
yeah. I think for a time
Um,
it was it was extraordinary in the price point, just
it was
absurd.
150, $200,
Yeah,
wasn't it? If I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
yeah. I think
So
I have a friend. His name's Lando. He sold like 3 4 of them at around the 90 to $100 price tag.
okay,
So
yeah,
still going in that rate is I mean
yeah,
that's crazy.
yeah.
Today.
Yeah. No, well, that's what I like the Shire. With that gift with purchase, I mean the set's 280.
Yep.
So they're at least going to go for $100. So you're almost a third of the way to paying the set off.
Right.
But that's one other FOMO I have. No, I don't want to call that FOMO. Like if there's an exclusive gift with purchase, I can't sell it. It has to be with the set.
Yeah. No, I
I
get
have to
that.
keep them together.
Yeah.
So I don't
Which
know.
makes it's a tough rabbit hole, but man, they do it on purpose. They make those exclusives so good. The
Uh-huh.
Shire is a good example,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I felt I want to get your opinion on the Shire as
Sure.
well, but that's one I don't have. I'm contemplating on buying day one. It's April
Okay.
2nd, which is very odd for a release day.
Don't want to talk about that.
I think it's a little bit lackluster of a set, though. I do.
Yeah. We've been having this conversation. So I love the idea of the
Mhm.
set. I feel like when you put the three sets together, like I can't remember who it was. I saw somebody put the three sets together, and when you see boom Rivendell, boom Barad-dûr, and it's like, wait, where's the third
Yeah,
set? And then you look down, and it's like, oh, there it is.
that's
So
the best way to describe it.
yeah. I also like I don't mind the play features, whatever you want to call them. But for an 18 plus set, like I feel like it should be first of all a little bigger and maybe more of the diorama, I guess you can say, not so like fun, if that
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah, yeah. It's
So
it's missing the wow factor
yeah,
is kind of where it's just missing that. Barad-dûr, you say
yeah,
wow, Rivendell, you said that's beautiful, and the Shire is just like it looks more of a 4+ set. You know, when you first look at it. That's
Wow, dagger right there.
I haven't talked about this set publicly. I made no content on it.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel about it. It
I
seems off.
it's something with the green color of the
Hmm.
hills. I think that's throwing me off. I think it's giving that like you said, it's like a younger vibe. I don't know why. When I first saw it, it was just that green really threw me off. I was just like, I don't know, there's something about it that just doesn't pack the punch like the other two did.
Yeah. And, yeah, and you know the other ones are so much grand and large, like, large displays for a 18+ set.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, I guess the way to look at it is I'll save a couple bucks on this round. So
that's it. That which is going to make that GWP worth so much more because there's going to be so many people skipping out on it.
that's a good point. So okay, well, I will report back to you, mid-year, and we'll compare the pricing on it and see what's going on with it.
Well,
So
I'm in for
good,
that.
good. Good. All right. So obviously, you and I are both in the Lego realm here, and everybody gets to see you on a day-to-day basis in that realm. But I want to give people a chance to get to know you a little bit better from a personal side, and then we'll go into some Lego chat. But I'm going to go back. We're going to ask you to remember what it felt like to be a kid for a couple of minutes here. So, as I mentioned in the intro, anybody who missed, so you are in the state of Illinois, Chicago area. So first of all, born and raised in Chicago, or did you move from somewhere else?
Yeah, I'm in the Indiana side, just over the border, about like 2 3
Okay.
miles. But
Okay.
yeah, we call it the Chicagoland because we're like under the same county
Fair
basically.
enough. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, grew up, born in within the area. Kind of got raised between here and traveling back to Greece quite a bit. That's where
That's okay.
most of my family is.
Yep. Okay.
But yeah, bouncing back between the two, traveling as much as we could.
Sure.
It's just kind of where life has taken us. And then me and my wife, Georgiana, now have settled down a little bit here. We
Yep.
just built a house about a year ago, dang near a year ago from today, in the area.
Okay.
So I don't know what that entails. Are we landlocked for a while? I don't know. I really don't want to move this Lego collection again for like the third time.
Yeah. 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 God bless you for that. I was watching some of those and looking back, and I was like, wow, that's I can't imagine moving all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because because you basically you fit that basement for your current setup, right?
I mean, to an extent, to an extent. I mean, there's a
Okay.
lot of room for
Sure.
growth here if you really
Sure.
wanted to.
Yeah.
Um, but at some point, it's like, I mean, this is the basement itself is probably like 1,100, 1,200 square foot. It's like, should I really be feeling it?
Yeah. 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 I mean, what else are you gonna do with
Well,
it?
that's true too. What
See,
else am I going to do with it?
see. Hey, if I see the missus is in some of the videos, so apparently she's on board.
Yes.
But if she doesn't like the whole basement idea, just tell her to drop by, say hi. Be more than happy to put in a good word. I'll support your.
I'm thankful. So the wife is fully on board with the Lego.
That's good.
Every
Yeah.
every ounce of Lego's got to be downstairs though,
Okay.
and like that's a
Okay.
small. I'd say pretty easy
Yeah.
bargain. So
You mean she hasn't taken up the botanicals and wanted to decorate the upstairs with botanicals?
nope, she'll build a few botanical sets, but they're like, nope, they have to go downstairs. We got like the wreath, the flowers. No
Okay.
shot they
Yeah.
go upstairs. So
Hmm.
yeah.
You know what? That's I'm gonna add that to my bucket list. How can I find a small Lego set for you to hide in your house and see if she finds it?
I, hey, if you could sneak that by her, I'm all in for it.
I
I'd
have
be
an
willing.
idea. I
That's
have
a
an
good
idea.
idea.
I'm gonna give you a sig fig because you're going to Brick
Yeah.
World, right? I'm gonna give you my sig fig at Brick World, and I want you to try to hide it somewhere and see if she finds it.
That's a deal. We'll do that.
Hopefully, she's not watching now or rewatching this because then I'll get in trouble. So
I'll just ask her when we finish up later and we have dinner. I'll be like, hey, did you by chance did you watch anything? And
yeah,
she's
good. If you didn't, don't rewatch it.
she's probably lost in a soap opera. It's all right.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Well, I understand that. So Greece. So did you grow up over there, like in Greece at all, or were you always like the school year over here and then just traveling like back and forth
Yeah.
in the summer or whatnot?
So
Okay.
summers for the most part, and then Again, most of my family, a lot of my family's still there. So
Okay.
me and my wife tend to go back at least every single year.
Oh,
Is
nice.
typically what we
Okay.
do, and we love it. Seeing the family.
Sure.
It's for us, it's vacation more or less.
Yeah.
It's just different.
Yeah. Yep.
So we
My
get to enjoy it.
my dad has we're in Pittsburgh. My dad has his family's up in Milwaukee, and when he goes to visit them, my mom, she's always like, "Well, yeah, why do you get an extra vacation?" He's like, "It's not a vacation. I'm going to see family. So
Yeah,
technically, it's not a vacation. You're just going to see family."
that's
So
it. Technically, it's not a vacation.
no, nope. So like, what do you find to be like some of the biggest differences between being in the U.S. and then being in Greece?
I would easily say the food is probably number one difference.
Yeah,
It's so much cleaner, so much
yeah,
natural, so much more flavor and enjoyable.
yeah. I can see that.
And I feel like there's good people everywhere. So I
Sure.
feel like a cliche answer, everyone would be like, "Oh, the people," right?
Yeah.
But in the U.S., there's amazing people. I do feel like Greece is probably a lot more cleaner, and a
Okay.
little bit more sustainable. But
Yeah.
uh,
Well, we'll leave that at a no comment. So,
yeah. But yeah,
um, so what's the Lego world like over there? Is it popular in Greece?
believe it or not, I've met quite a few AFOLs in just like in the streets of Greece,
Really?
right? Like
Okay.
not recognize this is before I was even like a
Yeah.
creator,
Sure.
big creator. I
Okay.
met a lot of Lego fans just hitting
Okay.
stores, whether it was in Athens or some of the islands,
Yeah.
uh, and it was pretty surprising. To this day, I have some really close friends, that live
Okay.
inside and outside of Athens and all over Greece that I've met, and they probably don't even know I have like a YouTube channel or
Yeah.
anything like
Sure.
that.
Yeah.
You know, which is funny in itself, but there is quite a community.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the accessibility of Lego is a little bit more difficult in Greece, just
Yeah.
because I mean, income
Sure.
levels are way different there
Yeah.
compared to something out here. Truthfully, there's not a lot of Lego stores. If I'm not mistaken, there's only two, maybe I think there's three official Lego
Okay.
stores
Okay.
um,
Yep.
throughout the whole country,
Oh,
which is
wow.
sometimes
That's a
we have,
that's a big difference. Yeah.
we have four in Chicago, right?
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, that's a huge difference. Why am I drawing a blank on his name? Oh gosh, I'm losing my mind here. He's over in Abu Dhabi. Is it Bricks and Lifts?
Is it Brixton?
Regard. No, I was just trying to look here. I did a bricks and beer. Man, this is embarrassing. It's been about a couple months, but anyways, he's over in Abu Dhabi, and that's what he was saying is that like it's a growing thing over there, but there's just not much
Yeah,
access to everything, and so that's part of the problem. If you don't have access, that makes it kind of harder to get the things that you want.
yeah,
So
yeah, and yeah, I'm sure it'll grow within time. It's just it's the people, right? If they're onboarding and accessibility to Lego,
yeah,
it varies.
it is
But
bricks and lifts. But I brought my spreadsheet up. Bricks and lifts. Yeah.
Brixton,
Trying to blank on his first name. Oh yeah, but anyways, yeah. So that's where he is, and the same thing. So yeah, it's weird, like when we're in the U.S., like you think everybody else is exactly the same as us. Like you have four Lego stores in one city, or a couple bricks and minifigs in the same city, but that's not how it is, in different parts of the world.
yeah,
So
yeah. We were in Vietnam in I think October of this
okay.
last year, and they don't have a single official Lego store throughout the entire
Oh
country.
wow.
The
Okay.
best they have is a Macy's inside of a big mall
Yeah.
in Saigon that has a little Lego portion, like Macy's out here,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yep.
it's just
Okay.
like so you like you
Oh,
said, it's really just understanding like wow, I would never have thought other
that's
countries don't even
that's
have
rough.
Lego.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's rough. A Macy's, that's what you have to depend on. Whoo, man.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
not going to get too much release day stuff at Macy's, I don't think.
No, gosh, no. I feel
So,
like throughout the country there was a lot of like non-Lego bricks though.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
A
Okay.
lot more fake stuff,
Yeah.
which I think it just makes sense, right? If they don't have
Yeah.
the
Well,
the resources
yeah, I
for
was going
Lego.
to say, I mean, the price difference in some of the stuff, I mean, yeah, you got to do what's best for you. And that's like, I will never, like, I'm a Lego guy, but I won't ever, put somebody down if they use something else, like I mean, it's just money's tight now, and it's just you gotta do what's best for you, especially city building. Um, like for Mills plates or stuff like that. I
Yeah.
get it, using the other stuff, but
Yeah,
um,
my only argument around that is I just can't come to like support a company, other companies, and not saying
mhm,
one in particular, but that will make, example, the Ninjago City, right?
mhm,
And then they go ahead and make a Ninjago City knockoff
yeah,
variant. And for me, that,
yeah,
that that's on the copyright spectrum, right? And that's like
yeah,
that's where I get, a
yeah.
little bit angry and frustrated with.
I get it. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of competition out there now. Seems to be coming and going. I'm interested to hear about this the Mattel stuff
Mhm.
in May. That kind of heated me that they announced it on International Lego Day. So I was hoping, even though I want Lego to be the bigger person and not come at them like I want them to announce something on the day Mattel announces their big thing because like you just don't do that, I mean,
I
like you're just asking for trouble.
that was that was a little bit of a war, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
battle war, right? Like,
yeah.
bold,
I
bold, bold statement.
yeah. But I said if you're gonna announce something like that on International Lego Day, boy, you better come with a punch. And I thought, we've talked about on a couple of my lives. We thought it was going to be Pokemon. Um, obviously not going to happen now.
Yeah, I
So
wore for the
I
occasion.
I know.
I believe Pokemon will be the biggest. I'm a firm believer. Will be the biggest thing Lego's ever done to date. I think
Yeah.
it'll surpass Star Wars by a landslide.
So I just want to ask you, and if this, I don't want to get you in any trouble or not. So this is purely an opinion thing, has nothing to do with Lego, no way, shape, or form
Yeah,
affiliated. In your mind, if you're able to answer this, where do you think they could go with sets? Like, do you think they'll do bricker style? Will they do mega block style, or like where do you think? What do you think their end
yeah,
goal is?
yeah, absolutely. So I don't, as of right now, nobody I guess knows the direction of other than the partnership in 2026. As far as like speculation and
Yep.
rumors go, we know nothing. But I would love to see the like. I think where Lego would thrive is similar to the Nintendo stuff.
Mhm.
The brick build Bowser, kind of like a
Yeah.
smaller
Yeah.
scale
Yep.
statue that's super detailed.
Yep.
Um,
Okay.
I think something like that would be perceived very well by the Lego space as well as
Okay.
the Pokemon space
Sure.
because I feel like the Pokemons they have statues from some companies, particularly like the pop ones.
Oh yeah. Yep.
But those have gone, Pop kind of shot themselves in the foot a little bit and have gone downhill tremendously. So
Yeah.
Pokemon fans aren't really going after those. So I think there's a
Sure.
there's a hole that needs to be filled that Lego could probably fill those
Yeah.
gaps. And then I think an easy answer would be minifigs and new molds for characters.
Okay.
I don't know if that will happen. I mean, fingers crossed all the way to the moon
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. 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 I'm on a Brickheads kick, so like I think Brickheads would fit.
Yes.
Um, the minifigs, like that's what I was thinking. Could you do like CMF series of Pokemon? But then I was looking at the Bluey characters. I'm just like, that could get a little sus, looking at
Yeah.
some of us in minifigure form.
Yeah, as long as they
So
execute right, like
yeah,
but
yeah,
they have a high standard to beat, right? Because I feel like a lot of people really liked megas, and all fair, I have a few of the mega sets
okay,
myself, and Lego has a chip on their shoulder. They have to be better than
yeah,
mega, so they have to
yeah.
hold themselves accountable to like really perform.
I
And
agree.
I feel like there's one up there. I mean, this is going to be the best Pokemon Center, but hopefully Lego.
Okay, yeah. That would be a nice set for sure.
And there's just so much they could do. Like there really is. I would hope they don't do something like the Mario theme where it's more like the super kid base and like the
Yeah, yeah,
Bluetooth variants.
yeah,
But
yeah. I was thinking like all the different avenues you could do. You know how they have like the Star Wars coins, like gift with purchases. Could
yeah,
you start doing Pokemon cards, like exclusive Pokemon cards as gift with purchases? I mean, I don't
that
know, man. Like that's just
the Lego community is not ready for that because they wouldn't be able to get one. Man, are you involved at all in the Pokemon world at all?
I was growing up. I will, I'll admit I have not been for a while, but like I had first edition. I had all the first edition cards that I sold at a garage sale. I mean, I
Wow.
kicked myself. I
That's the
mean,
name of the game, though.
yeah,
That's condition
yeah,
matters, but
yeah.
so you're unfamiliar though with like what's happening recently.
So I've heard stuff with cards, some issues with cards and whatnot. Didn't you just post something the other day with cards? Was
Yeah,
that you?
probably.
Okay.
So I've always been very much a huge. I'll say this. I'm more of a Pokemon fan than
Oh,
Lego. I've always been.
wow. Okay.
I
Yeah.
grew up
Okay.
on Pokemon. I
Yeah.
didn't grow up on Lego, which if you want
Okay.
to talk about later,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
can.
Yep.
But I've started publicly sharing some things that I've always just read about,
Sure.
and this is where I say the Lego space isn't ready for
Okay.
Pokemon.
Let's hear it.
Pokemon just released a new card series from Team Rocket, which you're probably familiar
Yeah.
with because you
Yep.
grew up on Pokemon. So
Yep.
they did a revamp of Team Rocket, a new card series that's supposed to release, I think, in like April or May. So they
Okay.
did a pre-order, and the queue was of 24 hours. I actually had my computer on queue,
Okay.
and you couldn't get into the screen until I think it was 24 hours.
Okay.
And you had to be like readily checking it too. Of
Sure.
course, if you have a professional bot or something, you
Yeah.
can get
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, in all seriousness, the pre-bidding for buying these sold out in seconds,
That's
and
insane.
like I said, the Lego space is nowhere near ready. If they do something like that, I would kind of hope they don't do cards because I truthfully believe we won't get any.
Well, so here's a random question. Did the site
It
crash?
did not, but
Wow. Okay. Well,
the queue was so long. I don't think they had to worry about that.
you know what? I mean, I then maybe this could be good. Maybe Lego can get some site pointers so we don't have the Lego.com crashes.
Yeah. Although I'm always excited for a Lego.com crash. You know May's coming.
That's
May
yeah.
the 4th is coming, right? We're due for a big one.
Oh yeah, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I mean, it's part of the, I grew up, my dad would take me, I still do the stores. Like I do every release day, standing in line. That's what I grew up on. My dad took me to the stores. When there's something you wanted, you waited in line. And if you got it, great. If you didn't, you didn't.
Yeah.
And I feel like I understand the convenience of online. Like I get it. And I don't, put anybody down for that. But I feel like that's just like something people miss if they don't do a release day waiting in line, like Black Friday. Like those are just like such crazy times in our lives as a child. And now, you just sit behind the screen, and tap the button,
That's
and
it.
it's yours.
You miss that entire social engagement and like whole
Yeah.
experience of shopping.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
think I going back to what you said about Black Friday, and I'm totally with you. I grew up in a time era where I was very blessed and fortunate, got to experience things like
Sure.
that.
Yep.
But I think this year in 2024, or last year, 2024 Black Friday, was the most Black Friday vibes I've gotten in the last probably
Okay.
7, 8 years,
Okay. Yeah. Well,
which is a good direction, right? But
yeah.
over the last, 5, 6 years, I just felt like that in-person experience just wasn't there.
Uh-uh. I mean, it also depends too on like using the Lego store, for example, what you're offering.
Sure.
I don't think the Endurance was as much of a draw as the Avengers Tower.
Yep.
Um, Lord only knows what this year is going to bring. I mean, we could have something completely off the wall or whatnot. But obviously, from a Lego perspective, I think what's the gift with purchase is an exclusive. What's the set? That can draw people too because if they try to do it on the website and the website crashes, you don't have any other choice but to run to the
Go
closest
to
store and
store.
try to get in line.
That's
So
very true. Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens this year. I think, like you just mentioned, the endurance wasn't as fulfilling as other sets. I feel like
yeah.
what was it? 2021 was the Star Wars
Oh
AT-AT.
yeah.
That
Yep.
that
Oh, I'm kicking myself on that.
that's a fulfilling Black
Yeah.
Friday release, right? And
Yeah.
the endurance just wasn't that. It was a great
Yeah.
set, but I don't think it should have been a Black Friday. And
I
the
agree.
example you also gave was the Avengers Tower. That's another great one. That is a
Mhm.
very awesome Black Friday set, and
Yep.
hopefully they follow suit. I'm sure sales reflect it. There's no way in denying it.
Yeah, you have to pull one of your big boys. You got to do. I mean, May is Star Wars, but you got to pull the Marvels. You have to pull. I don't know. I mean, I guess I guess you could do, I mean, an icons or ideas or something like that. But yeah, you if you want that kind of punch like the Avengers Tower, because I remember like I was there. I think I was at the mall like 3 o'clock in the morning on Black Friday for the Avengers Tower, and the whatever the set was in 22, supposedly they only got 20 of them. But then the Avengers Tower, I think they ended up having 40, so it wasn't like as bad of a fight to get it. But that's the thing too. You just don't know like what type of stock the store is
Yeah.
going to get. And so if you go and wait to do it online and the site crashes and you're getting to the store and it's only an hour before opening, you're probably not going to get
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
I don't, yeah, that's why I just go to the store because I can stand in line waiting to get in the store and I can order it on my phone and I can see going. So
That's very true too. I get it. It's a
double-edged sword,
vibe.
you know? Yeah,
Nothing beats in store. Like
no,
there's a vibe about it. There's a thrill. There's a rush. I'm
yep,
with you.
yep. All right, so completely went off topic there. So let's go back to you as a kid here.
Yeah.
Siblings, any brothers, any
I do
sisters?
have one sister. She's two
Okay.
years old. She's 2 years older than me. So
Okay.
yeah.
So what was the dynamic between you two like growing up, and has that changed as you've gotten older?
Yeah. So, 2 years older, I wouldn't say she was not protective of me. She was a little bit more of the bully on me a little bit, which is okay. Some tough love,
Yeah, yeah,
it all makes us better. But no, she was always good. I do feel like, unfortunately, life, throws us different routes and stuff. So we have
yeah.
gone a little bit stray in the last few years, but
Okay,
no, we're still close. Family time comes around. I mean, that's what's
sure.
important. Holidays and
Yeah,
whatnot.
yep.
I don't think it's great to talk to anybody every day, right?
Well, yeah, yeah,
maybe,
that can get you in trouble.
yeah,
Yeah,
maybe I'm
except your wife. Yeah,
except the misses.
that's okay.
Except the misses. But no, as a kid, I feel like we were actually both Pokemon fans, which is very interesting, and
Okay,
we
yep.
both never had Lego.
Okay. So
So
yeah, that's actually so let's get into here because that's what I was going to ask you. So no Lego as a kid. So the primary focus was Pokemon then for you guys.
yeah, well, primary focus. I played soccer all throughout my entire life. I
Okay.
feel like if you had to sum me up in 20 years, my first 20 was playing football, but soccer.
Okay. Yep.
So
Yep. Yep.
like
Okay.
that was it. My sister also played, but
Okay.
traveling across states, Europe, that's it. Just playing soccer. But I
Sure.
always did love Pokemon. It was
Okay.
just like that one. I didn't have a lot of video games growing up, but that was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the one console we had was like the DS at some point,
Ah. Yeah. Okay.
and that was my game of choice. It was always Pokemon.
Okay. Pokemon Snap. That was one of my favorite. I don't know if you remember that one. You ride around and try to take pictures of all the
Oh,
different Pokemon.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah, getting a little bit older, I'll never forget when Pokemon Go released. That like evolutionized the world.
that. Is that still going?
Oh yeah, big time.
Interesting. Okay. I feel like I used to see like, you'd see kids or even adults running around and then you'd like hear it off the side, like, oh, I saw him, whoever somewhere. It's like, what are they doing? And then I saw that, but I don't feel like I've seen anybody doing that in a while. That's why I was curious if that was still a popular thing or not.
Yeah, I feel like I don't see as many people playing Pokemon Go, but I know it's a huge
Yeah.
community
Yeah.
still to today. But
Well, maybe some of the older generation, like, how I've kind of fallen off, like if you're a Lego fan and now that you see it's coming back, like that could be the draw in to bring like another crowd back into it. So,
yeah, absolutely. I feel like it's got its ups and downs, right? It's always, people are getting
yep.
out and coming back in kind of
Yep.
deal.
Well, it's because how long has that been? That was early. Was that early or late 90s that
Yeah,
started?
97.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I mean it's obviously later than Lego, but that was interestingly enough, that was at a time where Lego was getting into that danger zone and then they revived. So it's just it's as with anything, things go through trends and fads, but um I think COVID really helped Lego. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, all I feel like all collectibles. It helped all collectibles,
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, it definitely sparked a lot of Lego. I feel
Especially
like
the
our community.
adults. The 18 plus really I I wouldn't be surprised. I'd love to go back and actually look at that. There's another project for you. Check the sales stats of 18 plus from COVID after. So check at 2019 and see what happened after COVID and see what a big spike.
Well, I'll say this much. That's like precisely. I think 2021 is the time when the rebrand of Creator Expert went to
Yeah.
Icons,
Yep.
all black boxes.
Yep.
So I feel like that speaks for itself a little bit. I do feel like a lot of inventory has been, at least in the last maybe year or two, is kind of the COVID sets. I feel like
That's true.
fluctuating,
Yeah.
which is also interesting to see.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing that I try to try to push on people when they're trying to decide, like, do they want to get a set that's about to retire or do they want to get a set that's just coming out. You have to remember, like, the stuff that's coming out, it's gonna be out for a while, and that was like part of my new mentality is the new stuff will be out. Now it might get back ordered, but it'll eventually be back on the shelf. Whereas if something's going to retire, once it's retired, it's going to be hard to get it at a retail price.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, you play into a lot of the things, right? Like short shelf life sets and different
yeah,
releases like that. So
yeah. Well, and then the other thing is the stuff now. I think it's just so overproduced, and I think that's what Funko did. Like how you mentioned,
mhm.
Funko just they just overproduced way too fast. Even the exclusive stuff, like you can't overproduce exclusive stuff and call it exclusive. It's
Yeah,
kind of
my
defeats
yeah,
the purpose.
my biggest issue with that is there's a couple of things, but one that comes to mind that like grinds my gears a little bit is when they release those exclusive coins, the VIP coins. I think I have them
Uh-huh.
sitting up here. And
Yep.
there was enough complaints on Facebook groups and people firing off emails that Lego reproduced them. And for me, as someone who is interested in the collectible market,
Yeah.
um, that really changed my outlook in Lego and like collecting.
Okay. Yeah.
It really did. So take that with how you will. I know a lot of people want all the accessibility, all power to
Yeah.
you, but
Yeah.
if Lego start re-releasing old retired sets, I, I think I would hurt more than it does good.
Yeah, that's funny you bring that up. Because I always thought it would be interesting, like if you made certain gift with purchases, and then if Lego tried to maybe resell them at a certain point. Like if you missed out in, let's just use the Fell Beast for example. So you couldn't afford Barador and you couldn't get the gift with purchase. So let's just say they made, I'll just use easy number here, 10,000 Fell Beasts,
Mhm.
and those all went out day one. Well, what if they produced another 5,000 of them, kept them in a warehouse, and then at some later point, you were like, okay, if you buy Barador, you can get a Fell Beast again. Um, just giving people an opportunity maybe later on in the shelf life to get that opportunity again, rather than paying double, triple the cost of the supposed value of what the gift with purchase is. I don't know how that would work logistically.
Yeah, I
Just trying
I
to be fair to, maybe new people in the game
I
too.
get that, but also like let's use middle aged Jimmy over here woke up.
Yeah.
He woke up late, right? He missed out. He didn't get the broad door day one because the release like the GWP
Yeah.
sold out at midnight release, right?
Yep.
And in store too. Because he woke up late. But he still buys broad door because he's excited for the set.
Sure.
So how is it fair for Jimmy to not get that GWP and then
Yeah.
then Sally's getting one 6 months
I
later because Lego kept
get it.
everything.
Yeah. I
You know,
get it. Yeah.
it's
Well,
gonna frustrate more people than it does good.
yeah, basically, I think at the end of the day, it all comes back to human nature. There's just no one's ever going to be truly happy because it's
Well, yeah.
just nothing, unless you are ready just to spend all your money and get everything the moment you need it or you want it. It's going to be impossible to to get everything you want, and so that's one of those things you just have to like really determine, like, what do you really want. As what's his name said from the Notebook, what do you want? You got to figure it out. You got to plan. So, um, all right. So you did mention the Pokemon cards, but I know you mentioned something to me the other day. Trains. So not Lego trains, regular old. What'd you say? HO scale.
O gauge.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's it. Okay. So what? Give me some insight on that. What was going on with trains when you were younger?
Yeah. So when I was growing up, my father had an entire room, nowhere the size of my
Sure.
basement, but probably like 600 square
Okay.
foot,
Okay.
designated to like O gauge trains.
Okay.
Like I remember building the table, like the table was the entire room,
That's nice. Yep.
except for
Yep.
you walk in and maybe like maybe a 10 foot by like 6 foot space,
You gotta have
where you had like,
some space.
well, it was like all the control panels and stuff to
Yeah. Yeah.
operate.
Yeah. Yep.
I think we were up to 7 or 8 trains operating
Wow.
of different tiers of
Okay.
different
Yep.
spaces, throughout the entire area of all O gauge, and like translating that to Lego later down the road. O gauge, for those of you who don't know, is just about the size of an official like Lego
That's what I
train.
thought. Okay.
It's
Yep.
it's just a different wheelbase. So unfortunately, I couldn't take my Lego train, throw it on the O
Sure.
gauge
Yep.
track, and run it around. That would just be too easy in life.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
But it does translate in the aspect. It's like similar size, so
Okay.
really cool. They do take up a lot of room, and like any hobby, it's all super expensive.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Well, the thing with the trains too is like you do have the costs to fix them too. Like, there's a lot of working parts on the trains, and
yeah,
I know there's stuff you could fix on a Lego set, but it's still. I would probably say I don't know if you would agree. Trains more expensive hobby than the Lego hobby.
yeah, I would easily say that.
Yeah.
I feel like you can make it how you want to. Not that you can't with Lego, but you
Well.
could you could spend a fortune on paint and like
Yeah.
ceramic for all the
Yep.
mountain stuff and all the
Yep.
electronics, the switches and the all that good stuff.
Yep.
It's just it's a more expensive barrier to entry kind of hobby.
Yeah. Sure. But, speaking of that, I'm gonna give this to you to toss up the chain over at Lego. Uh, I think they should do add-on packs. You remember how they used to do the people packs?
Yep.
I think they should do separate sort of packs, like people packs, and do it in different aspects too. Like you could have a modular add-on, or I don't know, something like that to kind of keep like the creativity going, like after the
Yeah.
set. But like, I don't know, just something to add another element to things, or give like a lower price point for people to buy to add on to things rather than. I know, mock builders they blow my mind, and maybe that's why I want this is because I'm not great at that, and
But
I just need that. I need Lego to tell me what to do, you
I'm with
know.
you.
But I don't know. I just think it'd be cool to have like some extra add-on packs because those people packs sold really well as far as I was under the
Yeah.
impression. So
No, I'm in agreement with you, Keith. I think one that calls to me in my mind here is like the modulars that are right behind me.
yep,
I always said, why don't they just make an extra floor? Like
yeah,
to buy up. You can customize the inside, but just give us an expansion pack to build the
yeah,
raw exterior to add,
yep,
and all in one.
yep,
And I feel like if they already have this set in production, it'd be really easy to do and just offer a floor at $50,
yeah.
whatever, 50,
That's
$60.
that's what I
Um,
said.
me and my uncle, we actually took it upon ourselves to like see what it would cost to like like mass
Okay,
produce this. Like, hey,
sure,
say
yeah,
the jazz club comes out, like what would it
yep.
cost? And it was way more expensive. It ended up being like 90 or $100, like for
Oh
a floor. And
wow.
it's just like, what do you sell
Okay,
it for? 120,
yeah.
right? Like,
Wow.
um,
Okay.
I'm sure if you bought in bulk, but would need the space to inventory all that,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it became
Yeah.
a logistics nightmare. But I mean, it's a great idea. I just don't know why Lego doesn't do it themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just like everything's so, and I know, I guess the way you look at it too is how many people are going to buy an expansion set if they don't have the piece that it expands.
Right.
So I get that, but I don't know. Like you could do even just like for cities, like you could do a park pack where here's everything you need to make your own park or a playground or I don't know, just different things you could do to kind of give you the pieces you need rather than going to Bricklink and having to farm out like all the stuff. Like you have like I don't know how many piece side build sets you could do, and then let
Yeah.
people free build
Yeah.
because that's what we're missing too. That's something I've been harping on is we're missing
Yeah.
imagination.
Yeah, I like your expansion pack idea. I don't know how Lego would execute it more, maybe along the lines of like that Minecraft one. I feel like Minecraft's done something
Okay.
similar of the imaginative pack there. It's just like a box set with kind of build your own, build what you want
Yeah,
on
yeah,
it. And I think
yeah.
that's cool. I think it's a cool aspect, but I don't feel like a lot of people have Minecraft villages,
No,
right? So
no.
that's a set that probably needs to be done in Lego City, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just always try to think of something different, trying to, because, I do a couple Lego clubs and, like you see the kids with their imaginations. And it's like, if you go into a Lego store, you could probably count on one or two hands, probably one, how many sets don't have
Yeah.
instructions. There's what, a couple creator
Yep.
boxes, and
That's
that's it.
funny. Yeah.
So, and nothing, that's fine. But like, where's the imagination stuff where you can give a kid a box and let them, do their thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no,
take
it's a
it,
great idea.
take it up the
Yeah.
chain. Go ahead, take all the credit for it too. That's fine.
I love it.
All right. So let's transition into the Lego journey here a little bit.
Mhm.
So again, no Lego as a kid.
Yep.
So what year did you get into Lego? What was the first year, and what was the set, or what got you into
Yeah,
it?
so I think it was ended up being 2019, almost 2020. I feel like
Okay.
maybe the October, somewhere in there, fall
Right
2019.
before the disaster.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, right before the disaster. Hopefully, I'm not off a year. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay.
So I mentioned soccer was like my entire life,
Yep.
entire livelihood. I ended up playing at a university, was Division
Oh,
One,
nice.
and all that good stuff. And it
Okay.
was slowly coming to an end for uh, just reasons that don't matter.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
uh, I ended up picking up a Lego set. It was the McLaren Senna,
Oh,
the
nice.
champion,
Okay.
the six stud wide
Yep.
one.
Yep.
I was a huge Art and Senna fan, so this is back
Okay.
in 2019. Sets ready available at Walmart was like
Sure.
$15 MSRP on sale for like 12.
Nice.
Like
Oh
12.
man.
I know. We're all drooling over here for those
Jeez. Yeah.
prices.
Gosh. Yeah.
I was like, well, I'm a huge Art and Senna fan. I grew up a little bit watching F1.
Okay.
Let's pick this. This seems like a good fit. Let's test this out. I loved it. Like it was just
Okay.
very therapeutic. And
Yep.
then I went one step further. I was like, well, let me see like what else they have online. And I found some like influencers or creators that were posting a little bit. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like
Yeah.
maybe I should make a Lego page and just post my Lego builds kind
Okay.
of thing.
Yeah.
Um, so I did that, and there was like no real traction or anything like that. And I later got my first building. It was the Assembly Square, like
Okay.
shortly right
Sure.
after. So from like Art and Senna to the Assembly
It's your
Square,
boy. Yeah.
that's a big leap,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a
Big
face.
price point leap too.
Yeah, it was a Facebook Marketplace find.
Oh.
Um,
Okay.
and a
Okay.
guy was selling it at the same university. We met at the university, which was
Okay.
in our backyard because we were at
Yeah.
the dorms or apartments right
Oh yeah.
there.
Okay.
So I built that and I recorded it
Okay.
and was gonna post it to YouTube. And I
Okay.
was hooked. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
holy heck, this is awesome.
Rabbit hole opens.
Rabbit, yeah. Then it was just like, well, how many other buildings are on the market, right? Like, yeah,
I don't want. I don't want to talk about that. I tried to convince myself so hard that I only needed a few of the modular buildings.
FOMO.
Does not happen that way.
How many are you at?
I'm missing Market Street and Cafe
Oh,
Corner.
wow.
So
Market Street and Cafe Corner.
I
Dang.
can't. I can't. I can't bring myself to do Market Street.
That
I
was
just
tough.
I don't know. I get it. I get it. I don't know. Um, Cafe Corner, like it's not, it's decent to look at. Kind of a bummer. There's nothing on the inside.
Yeah.
Um, what was interesting about Market Street when I was thinking about it, we're working on the Tudor Corner. The blues really took me back to Market Street because that's what I was thinking
Yep.
of. The Tudor blue is
Yep.
like the Market Street
That is
blue. So
exactly the color.
yeah, so I don't know. Maybe I'll. I don't have the money to buy them. First of all, I had one of my friends. He was at a store out in near. I think it was near Philly, and he says whenever he goes somewhere, he asks, are you guys interested or looking for anything? I said, yeah, Cafe Corner. He texted me a picture of a brand new unboxed Cafe Corner. I said, I'll take it. He goes, okay, $1,800. I said, never mind.
Yeah. 1800 is crazy because I know Market Street retailed for $90 back in the day,
Oh, that's disgusting.
and then I think Cafe Corner was I want to say 120, 140.
That's
but
so
maybe
disgusting.
maybe
Yeah.
160. It could have been 160. I think maybe it was 160. But
Regardless,
yeah, yeah, it's
return
just
on
wild.
investment.
Yeah, I like Market Street better than Cafe Corner. I'll say that much.
See, it's something about the. I think it's the fence that throws me, or
Like
the
overhang.
whatever the white. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Something about that just throws me off. I don't know, but in the same breath, like the cafe corner, it kind of reminds me of the one side of Assembly Square.
yeah.
Um,
The
and then I'm like,
street.
it's like boutique Assembly Square smushed together cafe
Yeah,
corner.
I can see that. It's the color scheme for the that throws me off on that one. It feels
Oh,
so
that's true too.
dull.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't like
yeah,
it. Right?
yeah.
It's yeah.
Can you like thinking back in your opinion, like let's just say you're a brand new Lego collector and the cafe corner comes out. Would you have sat there and been like, okay, I'm ready for the next 20 years of modulars based off of the cafe corner?
Yeah, no, that's just not happening. It's not happening. My uncle was around during those days, and even when the Market Street, I think the Market
Yeah,
Street
yeah, okay.
out first, and like he loved them. He was like,
Yeah.
I love these buildings. Like these are awesome. He bought six of the Market Streets. He's got freaking six of them.
Jeez.
And
Wow.
like
Okay.
Cafe Corner, he's at I think either three, maybe four. I can't remember. So like,
Okay.
that's an extreme example, and like
Yeah.
someone that like just loves Lego. But it's like, how many other people were like, I love this so much, they're gonna make more of these.
Mhm.
Like, it's just
Yeah.
it's a part of the few
Yeah.
percentage, right?
Yeah. Well, hey, do me a favor because I'm going to bring up your uncle here in a little bit. If he ever decides to part stuff out, just tell him, just give me a fair deal. I'll take one of each off his
One
hands.
of each. There you go.
All right. So did the trains for you? Did that translate over into the Lego world for you, or are you doing anything with Lego trains?
Yeah, so shortly after that Assembly Square build, I ended up picking up the Lego City passenger train,
Okay.
the blue over yellow
Yep.
one,
Yep. Okay.
for a Christmas tree train.
Okay.
And
Nice.
like it was at that point where like things really like I was like I was down a hole that like I mean it was a black hole, right? There was no light, there was nothing. You're not coming
No,
back out of it.
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Well,
for the Lego trains, I mean that escalated really quick. I ended up picking up a lot of the retired ones that are like
okay.
crazy price points
Yeah. Yeah.
nowadays.
Yeah.
I've gotten some fairly good deals from that point forward to modern day, but I don't have every single Lego train, but I have the ones that matter and some.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So what's the end goal with the trains? You gonna set up like a big train yard, or are you gonna just display the trains?
Yeah, I have a like smaller Lego City, like 10 foot by like maybe 5 foot.
Okay.
And I want, I have every desire in the world to make like this mock layout.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's finding the time to do it, but
Yeah.
it's going to be just solely based around Lego trains kind of deal.
Okay. Okay.
And like you said, a train yard is where my desire would go.
Sure. Yep. Now, what happened to and excuse my ignorance here. I remember watching a video where you had a big layout on a piece of paper for a city.
Yeah.
Is that something different, or did you just decide to scrap plans for that?
Yeah, so I actually built down here in the basement. I built an entire table that was, I think it was 150 base plates, like
Holy cow. Okay.
big Lego city. Built the table out of wood, bought tabletops and everything, and I did nothing with it for 2 months. And I was just like, I have other things I need to be doing in this space. Let me
Yep.
take it all out. And
Yep.
I made something small in the corner,
Okay.
and that small in the corner hasn't been touched since I
Yeah.
made it.
Yeah. I'm guilty of that too. The cities, they just take a lot of time
Yeah,
and a lot of parts.
a lot of parts. Right.
And when you're trying to do other things, like if you're going to be a city builder, like you have to be a city builder.
Yep.
Like that just has to be what you're doing because that was all my intention. Like I have all the buildings lined up, but there's no roads, there's no common ways, it's just buildings on a table.
Yep.
And there's a few people, that I talk to on a regular basis, and they're city builders, man, and they got the construction scenes, and they are moving. I'm just like, man, I'm jealous. Like I want that.
I want that. I want that. I do.
I just don't have the time for it,
Yeah.
or the parts.
That's the other thing.
Yeah, yeah, it's expensive. I mean, and most of the time, like you can't find the pick a brick wall like at the stores what you're looking for. And then they do pick a brick on the Lego website. Like that's just, I mean, it's pricey.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pricey to do this stuff.
Yeah,
So
I mean, say you wanted a Tyler from Life Bricks came over and he's like, "Bro, you got to work on your city." I'm like, "Listen, these are my ideas," and like we spent an hour talking about them, and I'm like, "All right, Tyler, how much would it cost just this mountain that we want to do?" He goes,
yeah.
"Well, let's look at the price of those burp things so we can,
Oh yeah.
fill up the big." And it ended up being over $1,000. I'm like, Tyler, like, hey, I don't have the time to build this, and like I
Yeah.
don't feel like I'm spending $1,000
Uh-huh.
on
Yep.
gray pieces right now.
Yeah.
So
Well, and that, in the same sense too, like if you get the good idea, let's just say you bought all those pieces and then you don't have the time to do
yeah.
it. That's $1,000 down the drain.
Oh
It
yeah.
just sits there.
Oh
So
yeah.
and good luck reselling that.
Exactly.
Because you better
Yeah.
find somebody with the same idea because it's going to be almost impossible to try to sell it like that. So
Yeah.
all right. So you got the train set up, so you're working on that. All right. So the social media aspect of what you do. So again, you're everywhere. You're YouTube, Instagram,
Yep.
TikTok. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, did I miss anything
We're
of
on.
the
We
major
yeah. We
socials?
started up on Facebook.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you're pretty much on all the socials now. Do you just share to every social the same content, or do you try to mix things up and do different things on different platforms?
YouTube is its separate entity. So
Okay.
YouTube has completely different content. I will reuse a few of the shorts, but I don't post
Okay.
shorts every day. I'll
Yeah.
post maybe two, maybe three a week that
Okay.
you'll find on Instagram and TikTok. But YouTube is just, you know, different videos, different styles, vlog videos,
Yep.
the Lego deals and sales, some live streams here and there versus, TikTok and Instagram is the same content.
Yeah. Okay.
Just kind of being recycled there. But yeah.
So where do you feel like you get the most engagement from? I guess you call them fans. We'll call them
Yeah.
fans. Where do you get the most fan engagement?
I'll always say YouTube. I feel like
Okay.
YouTube's the heart of social
Sure.
media.
Okay.
I think it's easier to engage with Instagram because someone could just like shoot you a message.
Yeah.
But a lot of the people I consult with every day, and the fans that are like I feel like more hard came from YouTube. It's that
Okay.
like real fan
Yeah.
base.
Yeah, that's something I haven't dabbled in. I'm not an editing
Mhm.
type of person. Like I just when I'm on a line, I can just flow. When I'm actually doing something on a recording, I'll take 100, you know. And at that point, I'm just like, you know what, just take the best one because I've had enough of this. So do you like that takes a lot of your time too? I would assume like editing videos and all that kind of stuff.
I say this because I'm very fortunate. I don't spend a lot of time editing. My videos are
Okay.
not a lot of editing. It's like you said, you love to talk.
Yeah.
I get on the camera and talk. I don't make a lot of
Okay.
edits. Those crazy transition Mr. Beast
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
That's not my content. I have a niche. It's an adult fan base.
Yeah.
My audience reflects that.
Yeah.
From engagement and stuff and my
Okay.
demographics. So I'm good with it. I'm cool with it. I
Yeah.
don't think I'll change my content style unless the game changes, and
Sure.
it just works for me. So I'm very fortunate. I don't have to spend hours editing, and you know, just
Yeah.
do the research and kind of have the knowledge and talk in front of a camera.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that would be my hope because I don't know, I just feel like it's a genuine, not saying if you edit it's not genuine, but um I'm just like, I don't know, I just want to do it and not have to worry about it and
Yeah,
post it and that's it. Because I would be like, kind of in the same with building a city. I'll record something and if I have to edit it, it's just gonna sit there.
yeah, yep. I I'll second that. I think the worst, hour or 2 hours out of my day when I'm editing a short form video, and it's just like I'm doing all these small cuts and stuff. I'm just like this. This
Yep.
sucks.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, because you think of what you could be doing, and that's the thing. Like I know you have to keep the content going, but when you think of what else you could be doing, it's like,
Exactly.
why do I want to spend my time there?
Exactly.
All right, so your collection that you have, your personal collection. What would you say? What's your favorite line of sets? Do you have a favorite line, favorite theme, and then what would be some that you prefer to stay away from?
Yeah. I feel like the Ninjago City Modulars. I have all five of them.
Okay,
That's an easy answer. I love Ninjago. Ninjago's
sure.
a theme I love. I'm going down the rabbit hole of trying to collect every single Ninjago minifigure in existence,
So
unique and
that's why
all.
you've been doing the price comparisons on the figures.
Yep,
Okay, all right,
yep.
makes
So
sense.
testing that out. I already. I'm not shilling the market. I already bought every one of those top 12 that I did. It was more for fun. Um, and I paid almost those
Yeah,
prices too, which is
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Well, we do stupid things for well, I'm not stupid. We do crazy things for things we enjoy. So I get it.
That's it. I've been enjoying. At some point, I'd like to display it at like a convention or something. I
Hmm.
think
Yeah,
that's the goal. Just
yeah.
like every Ninjago. I know M&R's done the every Star Wars one. I'm like,
Oh yeah,
that's awesome. I would love
yep.
to do that for Ninjago.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But there's a fan base for it, and
Hmm.
I would love to fulfill that. So, as far as themes to stay away from, I would go either Technic. I kind of stay away from, but I love the Formula One cars, like the
Yeah,
big
yeah,
ones. They
yeah.
were, they
Okay,
were they were a lot of fun to build. Like I
sure.
had a lot of fun building them. So Technic is one I do stay away from though.
Okay,
And
all right.
Marvel.
That seems that. Oh, Marvel too. Okay,
I
all
don't.
right.
I
Okay.
bought the Daily Bugle at
Yeah,
release.
yeah. Yep.
I could honestly throw away the minifigs and I wouldn't care. I like the skyscraper.
Oh man, you just put a wrench in somebody's heart there, man.
I do it all the time, and yeah, it's funny to see the comments.
Oh man, that's pretty good. Technic. Every time I ask that, most common answers are Technic and Friends. It's always the two most common themes. However, the following for Technic, I would say, is just as big
Yeah,
as the hatred for
easily. Yeah, I agree.
it. Friends, I can't speak upon. I think Friends is kind of unfairly judged. Um, the builds over the past couple years, I think, have definitely come around to be. There's some really nice stuff that they've done. I
Yep,
just think it's the mini dolls that that steers people away. Like you're so used to a mini figure.
makes no sense. It, it makes
Like
no
what
sense.
uh, when you're trying to when you're trying to make something for everybody, why do we have to have a different figure? That
Yeah.
kind of makes it seem like it's not for everybody.
Yep.
Like just have the mini figs.
Yep. I agree. It makes no sense to me.
I
Like,
mean,
there's no rationale.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I guess like they had to run with the Friends shows and whatnot, but you could have done those in minifigs. Like you have minifigs from City shows. You have
Every
Dreams, Ninjago.
every other
They're all
movie and show has been minifigs. Why would you?
yeah.
It
So
almost feels like a disruption to their own brand.
I would be. I'm surprised I haven't gone down that rabbit hole. Yeah, Dollhouse. I get that, but um, I don't know. That's like one of the only things. Like everything else is minifig
Yeah.
based. Like even Animal Crossing, like that's minifig based.
Yeah. And I do like
I
those
don't.
minifigs.
Yeah, I mean, as long as we're not going back to Belleville style stuff. Oh no, wait, no, not wait. Was Belleville the one with the no? What was Belleville?
That-
Was that?
um,
Yeah, that was the creepy figures, wasn't it?
yeah, pretty
I
sure.
think that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, one of them that had like the creepy buildable figures. I was just like, man, I would hate to wake up in the middle of the night and see those things staring at me.
Yeah.
All right. So, where your space is now, so down in the
Yep.
basement, you're pretty comfortable with how everything's set up, or do you have any plans to change anything around or anything?
Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with I feel like all the display cases behind me. I
Okay.
feel like it ends up being a good like presentation for
Sure. Yep.
videos and shooting content. Like it showcases some of the sets I like really enjoy.
Yep.
I definitely want to thin it out a little bit. There's a lot of stuff here on display that I'm like I don't really care about. So
I get it.
being more selective.
All right. So obviously, I don't like talk about this stuff kind of much because it's not this shouldn't be the important stuff, but I have to ask. So obviously you're in
Mhm.
LAN. You have to have a story. You didn't just like pop up out of nowhere and automatically in LAN. What's the story? What's the 411? How'd you get in?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I'm pretty transparent when it comes to that. I mean, I loved Lego from the moment I got into it to till to today, and hopefully in the future, right? But I first applied to LAN. It was on my birthday, like
Okay.
around my birthday of 2021. So this is only 2 years of me
Years later.
collecting
Yeah.
Lego.
Okay.
So I applied through LAN after I was opening actually Pokemon cards. Like I bought some
Okay.
booster boxes of Pokemon cards, and it was I think his brother from another brick inspired me. He sent a link.
Okay.
He goes, "I'm gonna apply for LAN. You know, hopefully I can get in." I'm like, "What the heck is LAN?" I didn't even know what it was.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I filled out all the questions. At the time, I was probably maybe like 8 or 9 thousand on Instagram,
Okay.
maybe 1,000 to 3,000 on YouTube. So like really
Oh
just
wow. Okay.
the growth, like just kind of, I was only in it for like a year and a half or so,
Sure. Yeah.
as far as channels. And on the answers, I'm not going to say I lied, but I didn't put like what my focus was, right? Like I was just saying like, oh, I love Lego, blah, 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 blah. And it wasn't like really what I was doing.
Okay.
I got denied and they said, hey, we like what you're doing. Keep growing, apply again. And
Okay.
I never applied again until literally exactly 1 year later.
Okay.
So at that point, I was like, I'm going to put what I do. And
Sure.
what did I do? Like my goal on the YouTube channel always has been to get Lego on sale, on deals. We all
Okay.
love Lego. Lego's
Yep.
expensive. We're not
Yep.
denying that. I want the cheapest Lego possible. And
Sure.
those were my answers. I'm like, there's no way they accept me. Like in my head, I'm like, imagine telling a company like you're too expensive and I want sets lower for
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is exactly what I put. And I'll stay true to this. It probably took me 10 minutes to fill out this application.
Okay.
I didn't put a lot of effort in, but
Sure.
I just spoke from the heart. I'm like,
Yeah.
basically that.
Okay.
Sure enough, accepted.
That was
I'm just like,
that.
I, I was
Interesting.
I was
Huh.
telling my girlfriend at the time, not even fiance, not even wife, Georgiana. I'm like, yeah, I just filled out that application again. I'm like, hope maybe we'll get in. She goes, let me read your answers. I'm like, it's already submitted.
Yeah.
but
So
but
how so
yeah.
when you submitted it, what was the time frame from submitting it to when you actually found out?
Yeah, so I think my submission was again during my birthday. It was I'll never forget it. It was when was the 25-year anniversary
Oh,
celebrations pack and Pokemon
okay.
came out. So I was
Yeah, okay.
ripping packs. I got like I pulled 3 Charizards out of like
Oh,
the first like 5 ETBs. Yeah, it
so
was
you're just
crazy.
riding high in life.
I
Yeah.
was I'll never forget it. That's when I submitted the application, and then I did not
Okay.
hear back until I want to say May of that
Okay.
coming year. So like a whole
Okay.
5 months later, which
Okay.
was just before Brick World Chicago, and at Brick World
Oh, that's cool.
Chicago, like I kind of like almost made the announcement just around
Yeah.
there.
Okay.
But it was
Um,
those truthful answers of like what got
yeah.
me in, right? I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
I mean, there's no sense. I mean, the way people can look at it if they're applying is obviously Lego can see what you're doing.
mhm.
So there's no point in lying about it because obviously they're going to check to see what you're doing. And so if you're just honest, still doesn't mean you're going to get picked, but
Sure,
they can see right through like what you're saying to them. Like you literally just flat out told them what you were doing and you were honest about it.
yeah,
And I think being transparent. Now, if you were out there, bashing them like, oh, this company, that's ridiculous, I
yeah,
don't, then that's different. But you were coming at it from an angle of just trying to help, not bash and help.
right,
So being transparent about that was, I'm sure that probably helped too, that like you were just, supporting them, but also helping others and
yeah.
not bashing them and helping others.
Yeah,
So,
no, absolutely. And at least from my start of the channel, as I mentioned earlier, like I didn't even, know what LAN was. I didn't know what the
yeah,
Lego. I was
yeah,
just a new person to the community,
yeah,
and like I feel like my content hasn't changed
mhm,
aside from adding some more review videos than I
yeah, sure,
typically
sure,
would do. Aside from that, my content's still the same. I mostly just cover Lego deals and sales, Lego investment side, especially on YouTube. I'm speaking to,
yep,
so it
yep.
didn't change anything. So, and I think that's what makes it stay true.
Okay. Now, again, if you don't or can't answer this, I've asked a couple other land members, so I'm just curious on your
Yeah.
take. If I'm not mistaken, you get presented with opportunity to get sets to review.
Yep.
You do not have to take them, correct? You can pass up
Yep.
sets to somebody who might be more knowledgeable on a topic. So just because you're presented with them does not mean you have to take them.
That is absolutely correct. However,
Okay.
if I say no to a set, this is where I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so, but I
Mhm.
don't think because I said no, they're like, okay, now we have an extra copy of this. Let's go send it to so and so.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think that. I don't think that's the case.
Okay. Yeah.
But you can deny a set.
Yeah, yeah. So I made that confusing. So yeah, I should have said. So basically, if they say, "Do you want this?" you can say no, and they're not going to be like, "Oh, he doesn't want our sets."
Yeah,
It's just like he's not, you just don't, for whatever reason, you're not comfortable with reviewing it or you don't like it, so you don't have to do anything with it.
absolutely.
Okay.
There are good examples that and this is a little bit of misfortune. I bought some of the Technic Formula One cars because I'm a Formula One
Oh yeah.
fan.
Yeah.
And Lego gave me the opportunity to do the big ones, the Ferrari and the Red Bulls.
Oh,
And
nice.
I'm like,
Okay.
awesome,
Yeah.
thrilled. And then they a little bit fine print in the email, not fine print, it was in the same size. There was three other Technic sets with it, and I couldn't deny those three sets. So I
I
had to
got you.
accept the whole thing. So
Okay.
there's some scenarios that are like that, and it's just
Yeah.
like, dang it.
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's beneficial to not only you and Lego, but to the people watching. Like, if we don't want to see you get a set that you don't really want and just be like, okay, 5,000 pieces, $600. Like, I want somebody who's interested in that set because I'm on the fence about making a purchase. So, like, I want your honest opinion. And if you're sitting here, let's just use the Shire, for example. You're, sitting here and you're talking about the Shire, and then you're like, Willy Wonka here. It's like, Willy Wonka, he's
Yeah,
not in the Shire.
yeah.
Like if you can speak and like who the characters are, like the scenes and all that, I think it's more beneficial to the end
Mhm.
customer to have somebody representing the product early, knowing what they're talking about, rather than just getting sets to
Yeah.
have them and then spewing off facts that you can find on the Lego website.
Yeah. Yep. No, I agree.
So yeah, I don't know. That's just my little world. I think
Yeah.
about things. So. All right, so conventions, Brick World. Obviously, you said you're going to Brick World. Any other conventions you're heading to this year?
I would more or less would be loving the opportunity to go to RLFM days in Denmark.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, it's
That's
big time.
kind of a
So
convention. I don't know.
yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like this
Well,
one.
just
And
being
then
in Denmark, that's just big time in itself. So
yeah, that would be big one. Yeah, my next one is Brick World Chicago, and then if I could swing Bricks, what is it, Bricks Cascade?
oh yeah.
No, Brick
Oh,
Slopes in
Colorado.
Colorado.
Yeah.
That would
Okay.
probably one I'll try to swing in August.
Okay. All right. So do you ever display anything when you go to conventions, or you're just there to see people and
I
chat?
I mostly try to just see people and chat, but
Okay.
I did bring my Pokemon display to Atlanta
Oh yeah.
in
Okay.
February, which
Oh, you
was
were there. How was that?
it was good. It was really good. It was different. I
Okay.
hadn't really gone to a lot of conventions outside of Brickworld Chicago.
Okay.
I can count the ones I have. So it
Sure.
was good to just be in a new area, new people, see the fan base from out there, and it was a lot of fun though. It was good.
Good.
It was a good
Yeah,
thing.
this is my first Brick World, so I'm a little apprehensive because I'm sure it's going to be
Yeah,
overwhelming. So
yeah. There is a lot going on there.
I looked at the agenda for the days and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. So
FOMO will happen. There's just too many people doing too many different things. You're gonna miss out. You're gonna make things
yeah,
like it is the best convention though because it's 24 hours. Like you could stay in a convention
yeah,
hall all day and night, and that for me
okay.
will always make it the best.
Now, because you're so close, will you still stay? Do you stay overnight, or do you just drive? You'll just drive
I
back and forth.
stay in the hotel. It
Okay,
makes life
okay,
way
yep.
easier.
Yeah, yeah, I know. It's which is that probably makes it hard for you because you're so close, and But yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
We're staying like I think it's like a mile
Okay.
out, so hopefully it's nice weather. I know you guys get really hot out there
Yeah.
in the summer, but hopefully it's nice because I'll walk. That's I don't really mind walking, so I'm not about to start driving all
Yeah.
over trying
Yeah.
to find places to park.
No, I get it. I get that.
But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see the displays, meet the people that are there, and see how it goes.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So, anyways, I'm just gonna shout out for anybody who's rewatching. So, you have the store I mentioned at the beginning
Mhm.
of the
Yep.
stream here. So, if you guys are rewatching, make sure you go on the link. It's on the link tree, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Stud City Shop.
Uh, yep. So merchandise again. He's not asking me to push it. I'm just mentioning it. Go get a support with some apparel, and then YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Follow if you're not already following him. I'm sure you are, but follow him if you're not. Um, anything else you want to share? Anybody you want to shout out before we head out here?
I mean, shout out to you, Keith. I appreciate you having me on. I'm really excited to meet
Appreciate
you at
that.
Brick World
Yes.
Chicago this year. I think you'll have
Yep.
a great time. It's not like I have any partnership or anything with Brick World, but like
Yeah, yeah,
I
yep.
do love the convention, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I'm excited for it.
We're hoping to get out there for the garage sale Thursday night. So
It's worthwhile.
okay, is that a FOMO garage
It,
sale?
it is definitely a FOMO garage sale. I will say over the past couple of years, it's gone pretty crazy.
Oh boy. Okay.
You might need, last year they did ticket entry.
Ooh.
Like you had to get like,
Okay.
so it was like a lottery ticket. So it is
Okay.
wild.
Okay.
So,
All right. Well, thanks for that. Is that like pre-sale or not pre-sale, but like pre-event tickets or like when you get there tickets?
pre-event.
Okay.
Yeah.
Geez, now you're gonna make me get there earlier in the day to make sure I don't miss
I'll say this much: if it, my recommendation would be to throw the $5, become a seller, and you have access to it number one spot, and you don't have to sell anything.
Is that a seller? See, so we got the whatever the ticket was that was on pre-sale.
Yeah. No, I'm saying like whenever they announced the garage sale. I mean, the last time few
Oh,
times
I see what
I
you're
brought
saying.
some stuff to
I see
sell,
what you're
but
saying. Okay.
yeah,
Oh,
it's worth
so
it.
you can buy a ticket to be a seller, and then technically, well, I mean, I have stuff
Yeah,
that I would love to sell.
I don't know I don't know the stipulations. Maybe
All
you
right.
have to sell, but
All right, maybe I'll look into that. Yeah, because I mean, if you have all those people there, I mean, you
yeah,
might have a chance to actually move stuff because Facebook Marketplace can be rough sometimes. So,
yeah, absolutely.
all right, Chris, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day, and I would love to check in with you at the middle to the end of the year, see what you've been up to, and seeing what's going on in your
Yeah,
world.
I'd love to see you, man. I can't wait to
Sweet.
continue talking. I appreciate it,
Yeah,
Keith.
yeah. I look forward to June getting to meet you, and I appreciate everybody who hung around with us tonight. If you missed anything, I will repost the video so you can go back and watch all of the stuff we talked about. I don't even remember what we talked about because it's been we went so many different ways. I loved it. That's what I like about talking to people. But go back, check it out, and then I will look forward to seeing you in
Right on.
June.
Everyone
All
have
right,
a good
man.
night.
All right, see you guys. Have a good one. Bye.